Origin, Book One of the Divine Witness series by A. R. Purnell. Copyright October 2025. Read and produced by the author. Origin. Before time began, the heavens watched as creation unfolded in brilliance, and darkness rose in defiance. Origin brings to life the unseen realm behind humanity's first breath, tracing the majesty of creation, the tragedy of the fall, and the storm that changed the world forever. A story of light and shadow, obedience and rebellion. Origin reveals the beginning of all things and the eternal plan set in motion long before man took his first step upon the earth. Prologue. The light before all things. There was no sky, no ground, no measure of distance, only light. It was not the kind that casts shadows or fades with time. This light was Being itself, the radiant expression of the Almighty, whose throne stood at the heart of eternity. Around him the firmament of heaven breathed like a living sea. Waves of brilliance moved in rhythm with the praise of countless voices, songs so vast and pure that they wove the very fabric of existence. The hosts gathered in great concentric tiers, their forms both terrible and beautiful. Each one bore the mark of purpose. Some blazed like suns, others shimmered with hues unseen by mortal eyes. Six-winged seraphim veiled their faces before the throne, and the mighty cherubim moved like constellations in slow, reverent dance. And at the center of their song, higher than all harmonies, brighter than all radiance, was Him, the Eternal, the I Am, the one whose gaze made galaxies tremble before they were born. From the outermost reaches of that sacred assembly stood one whose wings were yet untried, a small, shimmering presence who watched in wordless awe. His name was Kale. He did not yet understand the patterns of glory that rippled from the throne. He only felt the pull of the light like warmth calling to the very core of his being. Around him the chorus swelled, and Cale, uncertain but eager, tried to join. His voice was small, a flicker amid the ocean of sound. A gentle hand rested upon his shoulder. "Easy, little one," came a voice like calm water. He turned to see Irahel, her countenance soft yet commanding, her wings bending light as though it obeyed her will. She smiled, not as mortals do, but as one who reflects the joy of God himself. "Do not rush the song," she said. "Let it move through you. The praise is not found in strength, but in surrender." Cale looked again toward the throne. "It's so vast," he whispered. "How can one voice ever reach him?" "It already has," Irahel answered, placing her hand over his heart. "He hears before you sing. He made you to answer the song, not to outshine it." Cale's gaze lifted once more. The light pulsed, alive, responsive, as though the Creator himself had heard and smiled. And for the briefest moment, Cale felt known. He did not yet understand what that would mean, not yet the coming creation, nor the trials that would one day shatter heaven's harmony. But in that instant, before time itself began, he belonged. The chorus rose again, layer upon layer of harmonies that folded upon themselves like waves in an endless sea. The very air of heaven shimmered with color as the praises of the host ascended, and the light about the throne pulsed in living response. Cale stood still, listening. Every voice was a star igniting, every word a flame that did not burn. And yet within the brilliance, one tone pierced higher, soaring above the rest, rich, commanding, magnificent. From among the cherubim it came, Lucifer, the morning radiance. His wings stretched wide, scattering hues of gold and sapphire, his countenance gleaming like polished fire. None in the host could deny his beauty, nor the strength of his voice that rolled like thunder made melody. "Holy, holy, holy!" His cry echoed, reverent and mighty, filling the expanse of heaven. The others joined, weaving around his lead as 1,000 rivers joining the sea. And yet, to Cale's young eyes, something in Lucifer's song felt different. While all others sang toward the throne, he seemed to sing from himself, his voice seeking height, his light flaring brighter as if to outshine the glow it adored. Beside him, Irahel's gaze lingered quietly on the cherubim, her tone soft with discernment. "He was fashioned to shine," she murmured, "and he shines indeed. But even light must remember its source." Cale tilted his head. "Is it wrong to sing loud?" "Not if it is for love," she said. "But if ever it is to be seen, the song falters, no matter how beautiful." The young angel looked back toward the throne. The brilliance was so pure it swallowed comparison. And yet, there, within the chorus, he could sense the faintest disharmony, a tremor that only the smallest and quietest might feel. He didn't know the word for it yet. Not envy, not pride, not sin, only difference. And across the sea of light the Almighty still shone, unchanging, his glory neither diminished by the voices that sang too high, nor increased by those that whispered low. Cale lifted his small voice again, tentative, imperfect, but true, and beside him Irahel smiled. For even amid the thunder of heaven's praise, it was the humble notes that reached furthest into eternity. The song reached its final note, a sound so full it seemed to fill the endless expanse. And then, as though heaven itself exhaled, silence fell. It was not the absence of sound, but the fullness of it, a silence alive and waiting. Every wing folded, every voice stilled. Even the light paused in its rhythm. Cale felt it in his core, a stillness deeper than peace, as if all things leaned towards something about to be spoken. The very essence of the realm held its breath. Then the light about the throne deepened. From its center came a brilliance so pure it seemed to cut through eternity, a radiance that was not only seen, but known. Cale's gaze widened. "What is happening?" he whispered. "The word," Irahel breathed, bowing low. "The sun goes forth." The brilliance gathered like a sun drawn into form, not separate from the Father, yet distinct in movement. The Spirit, unseen yet felt, rippled through the firmament like wind through light. From that triune harmony the presence of the Son went forth, radiant and sovereign. Every being bowed, wings veiling their faces. Lucifer's song had ended. Even his light dimmed before the manifestation of the Word. Cale, trembling in awe, dared to lift his eyes just enough to see. Within the vast expanse the sun's presence stretched outward, reaching toward the outer boundaries of heaven, toward the place where the infinite would soon give birth to the finite. A voice like the sound of many waters spoke. "Who among you will bear witness?" At once a host stepped forward, mighty and radiant, cherubim and seraphim alike, their forms wreathed in reverent flame. Among them Michael bowed his head, Gabriel followed, and even Lucifer's voice answered steady and strong. Irahel turned to Cale, her eyes alight with both wonder and purpose. "You will come," she said. Cale blinked. "Me?" "You are untried," she said, "yet your heart is open. Where the word goes, understanding follows, and all who witness must learn." He hesitated only a moment before bowing low, his small wings trembling. "Then I will go." A surge of brilliance swept over them as the chosen host gathered behind the preceding light of the sun. The firmament trembled, and from the edge of eternity, Cale saw something he could not name, a void, vast and silent, untouched by glory. Then the voice came again, calm yet infinite. "It is time." And the host moved, the first movement ever made toward what would soon be called creation.